Welcome to St. Petersburg, Russia, a land that was once locked deep behind the Iron Curtain, now opens its arms to the west, and it is the next stop on the road to Torino as we welcome you to the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating presented by Olay. We are inside the St. Petersburg Ice Palace, set for the Cup of Russia short program. The men will take center stage first. I'm Bob Wischusen with Paul Wiley and Peter Carruthers. Susie Wynn will join us in a bit.
And of course, the short program is 8 required elements with a maximum time of 2 minutes and 50 seconds. The new judging system adds up the short program and the long program for total points.
We begin with the defending world champion, the first Swiss man to win at the Worlds in nearly 60 years, Stéphane Lambiel.
Stéphane Lambiel and Evgeny Plushenko are the only 2 men in the world to have ever broken 80 in the short program. Stéphane, the current world champion, struggled with the triple axel at the Cup of China. It's his first element coming up here. He has brand new skates, just 10 days old. 3.5 revolutions. A hand down. That will cost him in the grades of execution. His second jump, a combination, the most difficult, quad toe, triple toe, worth 13 points. Nice height. A little flip out there on the landing. He's looking much more confident than the Cup of China, Bob.
And you mentioned the new skates. When you were competing, if you used new equipment, how long would it take before you felt totally comfortable?
Well, 10 days is the early part of it, but I would say a couple weeks. But he's even spinning better here. You can see the balance. He was really struggling with that in the Cup of China. So really, the equipment makes such a difference in skating. It's not just like picking up another tennis racket. This serpentine step sequence really highlights strong turning ability and good, solid balance over the edges that Stéphane has. Now he goes right into a straight line step sequence. Difficult entrance into this flying spin to finish. A variation there, change of edge. A strong performance from Stéphane Lambiel, but small errors on the first 2 jumps. He'll tipped in the axle, and he'll have to work on that triple toe landing after the quad.
Stéphane Lambiel.
The problem started at the beginning here. The triple axel gets a little bit tipped in the air. You can see him over that right side, and he just can't hold the landing, has to put a hand down. And the quad toe, the first jump, excellent. Nice and high, gets that great air position. Then he's just a little bit over the right side there before he starts, and it's a little under-rotated. If it's more than 3/4, though, it's full rotation.
Well, Stéphane Lambiel has one of the highest short program scores of all time, but certainly a list that is dominated by Evgeny Plushenko, who we will see coming up next But Lambiel will set the pace. A personal best of 80.28 and off to a fantastic start, over 40 in the technical elements. And put together Stéphane Lambiel with an outstanding short program score of 78.35. Although no stranger to going over 80 in the short program is Yevgeny Plushenko. The 2002 Olympic silver medalist will be coming up next from St. Petersburg. As Russian as Red Square and just as inspiring, the tradition of Russian dominance in skating, likely to be carried on at the Olympic Games by Irina Slutskaya, Totmianina and Marinin, Navka and Kostomarov, and Yevgeny Plushenko, the latest in a long line of Russian figure skating royalty. Before taking on the world in Torino, they take to their home ice in St. Petersburg next. ESPN2's ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating, presented by Olay. Brought to you by Olay, love the skin you're in. And in part by Ore-Ida Extra Crispy Easy Fries, the first fries to get truly crispy in the microwave. Welcome back to St. Petersburg, our continuing coverage of the 2005 Cup of Russia, and only 2 events remain before the ISU Grand Prix Finals. We are at the Cup of Russia, the NHK Trophy next week. A pair of Canadians have already qualified for the Grand Prix Finals. Emmanuel Sandou and Jeffrey Buttle are through. Stéphane Lambiel off to a magnificent start. He's skating here, of course, this afternoon, and making his one and only Grand Prix Series appearance this year, Yevgeny Plushenko.
Evgeny Plushenko's elements very similar to Stéphane Lambiel's. Quad toe, triple toe loop, watch for that. And the circular footwork, very difficult, and the combination spin. He won't be doing his signature Bielmann spin because of his groin and back issues. But this is a very difficult program planned.
Yevgeny Plushenko, Russia.
Yevgeny Plushenko has competed in the new scoring system 7 times, and all 7 of his scores are among the top 8 ever posted. Emmanuel Sandou is the one skater that has cracked the top 8 to ruin what would be a perfect run, but you'd have to say that right now we are looking at the odds-on favorite in Torino.
In fact, the Olympic gold medal is the only title that has eluded him thus far. He's an awesome athlete. Opening with a quad toe, triple toe. The tight rotation, beautiful ride out. That was perfect. Second jump, 3.5 revolution, triple axel. With a stretch of the leg and choreography with the arm. Just amazing the control he has on the landing. You can hear the blades carve the deep edges in this circular sequence, the dynamic choreography. This program set to the music from Puccini's Tosca, was not his first choice. He had Once Upon a Time in Mexico picked out, but that was what Stefan Lambiel was skating to. So he said he had it first and he gets it. This is very good footwork. The quick dynamic changes of position and direction, very important to show to the judges. He had to pull out from last year's World Championship and have double hernia operation, a groin surgery, but he is back. This is an amazingly secure performance for the first one of the year. He's in front of his home crowd. Brilliant quad triple combination and triple axel.
Yevgeny Plushenko trains right here in St. Petersburg, and the 23-year-old, a three-time world champion.
Yevgeny Plushenko.
Centrifugal force works against you, so it's very difficult to pull in tight in the air. But Evgeny Plushenko has the best air position there is. Absolutely quick in the air. The circular step, very interesting use of the edges. As I said, you can actually hear the security of his blade on the ice. So his checklist, absolutely perfect program. Quad toe, triple axel. He didn't have the Biellmann spin in the combination spin, but he has learned how to change edges and add difficulty to his spins in that way.
Well, for Yevgeny Plushenko, he would need 78.36 to take the lead. He, of course, has 3 of the 4 scores to ever go over 80 total in the short program. His career personal best, 84.35. And he clears that with room to spare. Not only a new personal best, but a new all-time high in the short program at 87.2. Yevgeny Plushenko. What a magnificent performance. So the bar has been set very, very high by the 6-time Russian national champion and 4-time European champion, and the U.S. national champion will skate next. Johnny Weir takes the ice in St. Petersburg when we come back, but standing by is Peter Carruthers, who is with Johnny, enjoying a tasty Russian tradition.
Did you know Russian caviar was once a delicacy of the Tsars? But right now, you and I get to have this wonderful food. You ready?
Of course I'm ready.
Show me what you do.
Okay, first, I take the blini, and then the black caviar, and the egg whites, and then smetana, пожалуйста.
Yeah.
This is the sour cream, and then a little mix, and then a little cut, and it's perfect.
Well then, na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
There you go.
Ah, yes, the difficult life of Peter Carruthers continuing here in St. Petersburg. Thanks to Peter and Johnny, and we'll come back in just a moment. This is the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating, presented by Olay. Welcome back to the Cup of Russia, where our coverage will continue tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN with the free skates. Right now we are watching the short program, and American champion Johnny Weir is set to take the ice next, the U.S. national champion for the last 2 years, who took 4th in the Worlds in Moscow.
And Johnny's planned element starts off with a triple axel, then a triple Lutz triple toe loop. Note, he is not doing a quad combination here, so he won't have that level of difficulty that Plushenko and Lambiel have, but he makes up for that in the program components. He is a truly wonderful skater.
This is Johnny Weir's second appearance in the Grand Prix Series this year. He suffered a sprained ankle at Skate Canada, which dropped him from second place after the short program to 7th overall. So he is looking to stay healthy and bounce back with a better performance here in St. Petersburg.
Johnny had such a successful Grand Prix Series last year, and then he was plagued by an injury at the Worlds and nearly made the medals anyway with a 4th place finish. The ride out of his jumps, just unequal. Triple axel, smooth landing there, excellent. Next element, triple Lutz, triple toe combination. Very good as well. Footwork into triple flip here. A little flip out there. It's very uncharacteristic of Johnny. He's a little bit tipped on the landing. He spins with very high quality. Change of edge there, that position. Now another variation, adding difficulty. The more lyrical quality of the Saint-Saëns music, the Swan, highlighting his ability and the edge control that he has. One slight error on the triple flip, but otherwise a great performance by Johnny Weir.
Johnny Weir took silver last year in the Cup of Russia.
The triple Lutz, triple toe. Shoulder's a little bit wild there, but he pulls it out very nicely with the triple toe. Good air position there. The triple flip, though, he had some problems on. Gets a little bit tipped here. And just can't check his shoulders there to get the landing. So one mistake. Number 5, footwork into the triple flip, but otherwise a clean performance for Johnny Weir.
Well, unfortunately for Johnny Weir and the rest of the men's field here at the Cup of Russia, Evgeny Plushenko set an astronomical high of 87.2, so it would take a short program score of 87.21 to take the lead here in the short. And for Johnny Weir, comes close to his personal best of 75.9 with a 75.15 that currently places him 3rd. And now the 4-time German national champion, Stefan Lindemann, will take the ice with Plushenko leading the way. Lindemann took bronze in the Worlds in 2004.
On the submitted list of elements to the ISU, the first jump is a quad triple, but he hasn't landed one all week. He's going for a triple flip, triple toe loop. Smart move. He loses a few points in the base value, but he won't lose the grades of execution for a fall. His second jump here, triple axel. Very nice and high, good ride out. Stefan has to be considered one of the dark horses for the podium in Torino. He had a phenomenal performance at the Worlds in Dortmund, which got him the third place there. He was third in the Europeans last year, beating Lambiel. So he's capable of great performances. Footwork into triple Lutz. A little hand down. And it really didn't look like he needed it at all. He's just a little bit tilted. The German Skating Federation has made a requirement that in order to make the Olympic team, you have to be a top 6 performer in the Grand Prix. So Stefan has to place in the top 6 here or at the NHK Trophy. So there's a lot at stake. This is a fun and energetic program for Stefan Lindemann. He made one mistake, put his hand out on a triple Lutz. I think he'll need the quad to compete and get on the podium in Torino, but good start for the season.
A 25-year-old who began skating at the age of 4. As he got older, he told his mom he wanted to switch to hockey because all of his friends were playing hockey, and his mom said no. And it turned out to be a good decision. Now an Ole ice move with Paul Wiley.
The loop is one of the 3 edge jumps. The skater often enters on a curve with the legs already crossed and simply presses up off the backward outside edge to lift himself into the air. The loop is easy to recognize because unlike the other edge jumps, the axel and the Salchow, the loop uses no assistance from a swinging free leg to initiate rotation. We'll be back in a moment.
If you have a question, certainly email us at eskate@espn.com. Our eSkate question this week comes from Gene in Naples, Florida. How does the technical specialist identify what level a spin is so quickly? That's a good question.
Yes, it seems impossible, but that is their job, and they've been trained to do it. The technical specialist here, Alexei Urmanov, keeps track of the number of features or complexities in any spin. Spin positions must be held at least 2 revolutions to count. And the technical specialist can refer to a chart which lists the number of features required to achieve a particular level in a spin. They also watch the practices, but what really counts is what's out there in the performance.
Again, you can email us at eskate@espn.com as we check the short program scores for Stefan Lindemann. His personal best, 67.75, and that is a new personal best for Stefan Lindemann at 68.65. Good for 4th place, though, after the short program. So Yevgeny Plushenko, an all-time high and a personal best, obviously, in the short program of 87.2, a commanding lead over Stefan Lambiel, and Peter Carruthers is standing by with the new world record holder. Peter?
Yevgeny Plushenko, wow. 7 months ago, you had to withdraw from the World Championships. It was a very painful experience. You just came back and had an incredible short program. Put into perspective what that was like for you.
So I would like to say a lot of thanks for to my wife, to my parents, to my coach, and my choreographers, because they helped me a lot. And I was injured, yes, and doctors did 2 operations for me, so now I'm like new, and I feel like 18 years old right now.
You just broke your personal best, set the new record for the men's short program. What is this doing for your confidence?
So I'm just happy because I did new scoring, I did new world record, and I look forward to jump quad with triple loop. So this is going to be new for figure skating, and it's going to be new page for me in my life.
Recently married, Yevgeny Plushenko, thanking his wife first, smart man, and still to skate here in Russia, the world champions and Olympic favorites, Arina Slutskaya, Totmianina and Marinin, Navka, and Kostomarov. And next, we'll look at the challenge put forward by U.S. ice dancing teams, Lauren Gala-Rabinowitz and David Mitchell, and the drive for citizenship by Tanith Belbin and her partner, Ben Augusto.